Hi, Danielle. How's it going?
Great. Hello, everyone. Joining you all from Brook Island in South Carolina.
Okay. Well, let me just introduce you briefly here. You are the owner and managing director of Family Office List LLC. I was actually checking out yesterday. It's just a huge database of family offices. Seems like it's very clean and usable data for a lot of managers. Would be great to hear a bit more about it and how you got into it.
Awesome. Yeah, very happy to be sharing with you guys today. And thank you to all the speakers that came before me. This is a great group. I had the pleasure of meeting Max in person. I was in Lisbon for the Web Summit in November. So really fun meeting him and now being a part of his group. So I'm going to share my screen, just kind of introduce you guys to Family Office List and really share more with you just how you can approach family offices and think about building relationships, especially as you are raising capital. So let's go ahead and share my screen. Right. Everyone see that?
Yeah, we see it.
So to understand my whole outlook about relationships within the family office sector, it's good to talk about my journey in owning Family Office List. So I was not the founder. It was actually founded in 2001 by Douglas Fathers. He was a fund manager. Like many, he started raising capital for his hedge fund friends, family. Once he exhausted that and was ready to go to the next level, soliciting ultra high net worth and really fell into the world of family offices. There was very little resources available, very opaque. And so he effectively had to build himself a spreadsheet of prospects and put a lot of hard work, probably like many of you received a lot of no's. But as his career advanced, he realized that list was a valuable tool. There was really nothing else like it. So he monetized it, and it was Family Office List. So for years, it was a static Excel spreadsheet. And when I started partnering with Douglas, I really came to the table from a sales and marketing perspective and really wanted to guide our clients on how to effectively connect. And I realized a list is really going to encourage this spray and pray mentality. And if you've seen one family office, you've seen one family office. It's the same, and it's true. No two family offices are alike. So it really starts with thinking about this from putting yourself in their shoes and doing research and understanding their objectives. Because if you can align based on what they're interested in, you can connect much more effectively, and your approach can be one of kind of a value add. So really, when you think about the history of family offices, they've been around for hundreds of years. Many people still don't even know the term, and you could actually ask a room full of family offices to define, and they would probably all have a different meaning. And this often comes from, how they've structured their family office. Why, is it a single family office, a multi-family office, a family foundation? So it does encompass a lot of groups. And, as we go through history and we look at certain pinpoints, like in 2008 with the financial crash, it really changed the trajectory and the way that family offices managed their wealth and how they thought about things. And now with, this AI and technology disruption, they are again, pivoting and rethinking the way that they're investing. And this has really changed the way that they have shown up. And what I'm most excited about on a personal level the next gen are really open to more of an impact investing initiatives, and they are looking to raise their families' public profiles so that they can invest with other like-minded families and help raise awareness for many of these initiatives. So I'm excited at many of the trends I'm seeing in the sector and really working to position myself to offer more value, because many of my clients are family offices looking for co-investors, raising capital for their own funds, and it's really developing solutions to create more connectivity, more transparency, and help anyone really looking to connect. So moving on. Oh, okay. Did I skip something? Okay, so values alignment. Really, our platform, I decided, this can't be a list, where you're seeing these investors as numbers and not people. We need to know more about each family office, what makes them unique, from their origins of wealth and how they're managing that office, and really who they are as people and what they stand for. So, our platform is much more than just a list of names. It's insights, it's details about the family, and most importantly, their investment objectives. So really, you have to think about, these goals, and depending on where they're located, their history, what stage, what generation, you really want to think about their goals. And typically family offices make great investment partners because they have long-term patient capital. This is, intended to be for the generations to come. And they often bring, a wealth of network and expertise. And so things that they're really looking at is very relationship based. They are interested in you, the person. So unique storytelling, connecting on that level, really building trust. And so just sending a blind email is not necessarily the way that you can do that. So we really think about how can we cut the noise? How can we really effectively build these connections? And I think in almost every single person's presentation today, we all brought up how our network is kind of our highest form of net worth. It really is. And I think LinkedIn, which I love, following Max and his great reach, and, it was that paper that made him go viral on LinkedIn, is a tremendous tool. So really, I encourage people to first start with your own network and see where you may have warm opportunities for warm introductions. If there aren't any and you struggle there, then see if you can engage. How can you offer value to the people you're trying to connect with and build a relationship? Maybe if they're posting regularly, you can support them and kind of get on their radar. Start a dialogue without necessarily just blindly asking them for something. I also find events really useful. There's a lot of industry events and ways that you can kind of get in the room and listen and learn, try to build relationships. These things take time, but they really open doors, and the family office community is actually much smaller than you realize, and it's a very referral based. So oftentimes you can start working with one and it will open the doors to many more. In terms of pitching, again, you want to show your passion as the founder. What makes you unique? How are you different than maybe some of the other opportunities that they're looking at? And again, it goes back to what are they most interested in, and how do you create that alignment? And I really encourage people, when in any industry, whether it's venture capital, whether it's working with family offices, your investors are a part of your extended team. You want to make sure that there is great synergy. You don't just need to see this as money. They can bring so much strategic guidance. They can bring so much more to the table. So it almost requires you to ask yourself, but also ask your investors some important questions to make sure that you do have that alignment, that this will be a great partnership. Who are you? What do you believe in? How do you think about investing? Why is your process unique? And, look about alignment of interests. Again, life is too short. We really should have fun at what we're doing and enjoy the people we're working with. So that goes with investors as well. Also, just going back to your why. who you are as a person and what drives you. And I think, having that energy, kind of like what Gabriel was talking about, and having optimism, I think it goes a long way. And then, of course, what is your exit strategy, and just kind of the heart of the business, being able to answer those questions. I could go on and on. I'm so passionate about
No, this is perfect, Danielle. Thank you. Thank you.
I think the biggest exciting thing for us is we are launching version 2.0. I think I skipped actually my very first slide, which was really kind of the history of this all. So we launched the first version of our platform in 2019, which is really just to create more transparency. But we're getting ready in the next few months to launch version 2.0. And it's really all about, just kind of trying to bridge that gap. It's a tough industry, but we see the need on both ends, from capital raisers and the family offices. So, thank you all so much for listening and having me here today.
Masha, can you hear me?
You are?
Oh, really? Oh, can you unshare the presentation? Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, yeah. That was my bad.
And let me combine a couple of these questions into one question here. What percentage of family offices, at least that you've observed, are even willing to look at venture capital funds? And then, of those, what does their due diligence process look like? How long does it take? What are the typical steps?
Yes, excellent. All excellent questions. So our database doesn't encompass every family office. There's upwards of probably 15,000. We've curated our list of the 4,100, and it grows every single day. We add about 50 a month. I would say there's probably almost 2,000 firms that are interested in venture. Now, venture funds specifically, that number probably drops down to around 1,000. The thing with family offices, which is so difficult, is there's no one size fits all. Each one has their different process. And so the more that we can gather through how they've conducted their past investments, or, whether they've provided us with their preferences, that will really tell you, how they structure the deal.
Yeah. I mean, also I would add to this is that, I think a quarter of the family offices that are LPs on our fund told us they had no interest in investing in venture capital, and never have and never will, and they still invested in our fund. So you never know. These people are all can all be decision makers that just make a decision at Starbucks, and then it just happens. So I wouldn't disqualify people necessarily. Great. And then is there, one thing that we do at Go Ahead to help our portfolio founders is we kind of have this internal Airtable, and we create a magic link so people can look for their mutuals on LinkedIn, right? Because like you said, oftentimes a cold email from a database is not the best way to reach these people. A few people are asking, what are some strategies that you are seeing that are constructive and, high success rate ways of getting a mutual introduction to a family office? Who do the family offices want that second degree connection to be?
Yeah. Honestly, it's just leveraging your network. And I think LinkedIn is the most efficient kind of way to do that. And part of our version 2.0 release will help make that whole process of mapping the relationships and kind of recommending those more connected leads to you. So, we've always strived to understand who's at the helm of making decisions, but sometimes you might have that second degree connection with someone else on the team. So it's really, just leveraging your own network, and I think LinkedIn is a great way to do that.
Yeah. And one last question here, and this is, I don't know if you have a great pulse on this or a measurement of it, is do you have a sense of, in your time speaking to family offices last year, of what 2024 looks like for them in terms of allocation strategy? Are most of them just going to huddle CDs for longer, or are they starting to go risk on again and start to look at venture assets again?
I always keep a pulse on the trends and the reports. Camden Wealth, they do a great report, and definitely, I think that they are looking to increase allocations again. And I think that there are a lot of new AI tools that are helping with the due diligence. I think that is the hardest component. And that's why we do see an increase of family offices co-investing together. You know, if it's not their area of expertise and they don't have a big built out team like a venture fund would, then they can find a family who maybe does have expertise in that area and they'll co-invest together. So we see a lot of that happening, and I believe that it will just continue into 2024.
Awesome. Well, and on that optimistic note, we'll let you go, Danielle. Thanks so much for the presentation and the answers.